brutal, actually. I liked it. Americans have made it clear over and over again they are tired of endless wars. They are tired of a crumbling border, and they're tired of the corruption. Here to react to this and much more, a superstar, Congressman from Florida's 17th District, Greg Steube. Thank you so much for being on the program. You have been doing, sir, incredible work on the House Ways and Means Committee, so we appreciate your service to this country and the excellence to which you take seriously, your job and how you apply yourself. So I want to talk to you about this. Two IRS whistleblowers testified behind closed doors in front of the House Ways and Means Committee on Tuesday. What can you tell our viewers about this?
Yeah, we've released a lot of information that they released to the committee, and you highlighted some of that, which was all the emails, the 327 different emails. And what's fascinating about that was, Joe Biden claims that he had no knowledge of his son's business dealings, yet he was highly involved in using fictitious email addresses like robinware@gmail.com to communicate with these individuals, and some of which he was communicating by himself with Eric Schwerin. I had an opportunity to speak with Chair Comer of the Oversight Committee after we released that information. They are now asking for National Archives to provide us with the content of those emails. So that'll obviously give us a lot more information once we have the content of those emails. But for him to say that he didn't know about or participate in his son's business dealings is a complete and absolute lie.
An outright lie. Months ago, you filed articles of impeachment against Joe Biden. Lay out to our viewers the high crimes and misdemeanors that you see here. And with McCarthy's departure and the slim GOP majority, what path forward for impeachment do you see under Speaker Johnson?
Yeah, 18 U.S.C. 201 corruption and bribery charges is what I brought in my articles of impeachment. Next week, the Speaker has said that we're going to move forward with what's called an impeachment inquiry vote. And what that does is gives the House a lot more legal standing to stand on, because we know we've requested Hunter Biden come in for a deposition. I believe it's next week. So if he doesn't show for that, we obviously have to then go to the court system to compel him participating in this. And if the House has taken a formal stand and passed an impeachment inquiry vote, then that's something that gives us a lot more legal standing to get all of these other documents that we need to get and move through the formal process of an impeachment inquiry. I anticipate that vote to be next week. It's going to be very close. We only have, we had a 4-vote majority, and then they kicked Santos out, so now we have a 3-vote majority. McCarthy will be here through the end of the year, but you've got people, we got to hope that everybody's here, and that even if all the Democrats are here, we don't lose very many votes. Ken Buck, I think, has already said publicly that he's not going to vote for it, which blows my mind how a Republican could not see all of the evidence to be the basis of an impeachment inquiry. So that gives us down to 2 votes. And so we can't lose any Republican. I hope that we can get the whole conference together to at least open the impeachment inquiry and move forward.
I hope so, too. And it's just, it's, to me, it's just cowardice. And I hope there's accountability for the people who pretend to be, Republicans. There's a reason they call them rhinos, and they don't have the stomach to do what it takes to actually support the American people and do the right thing in the face of an avalanche of evidence. So let's see what happens. We're going to keep a close eye on that. So Hunter Biden's lawyers say he'll only testify publicly. What's your assessment as to whether or not this testimony should be public or behind closed doors? Just curious.
Okay, so there's a strategy with his lawyers for doing that. He wants to have it in a public hearing because then each member only gets 5 minutes to ask questions. And these closed doors depositions, they can go on for 8 hours, and you can walk along strategic questioning on different subject matters, because our staff and members can also participate in that. But our staff has prepared, just like you would do in a court deposition, of asking a series of questions, and it could take hours to get through, let's say, Burisma and the email traffic that went back and forth that we released today. And, oh, hey, what was your dad on Robin Ware's Gmail account asking you on X date? You can walk through all of that. The reason why they want to have a public hearing is each member of Congress is only limited to 5 minutes.
They want to dodge the questions.
Hard to get through that.
They want to minimize the amount of time that he's in front of each and one of you, and dodge the questions and not have unfettered access to him with no time limits. I get it. It's a legal strategy. They're trying to play hide the ball as usual. These are not honest people. All right. So, and now turning to the growing crises abroad, we've seen increased tensions in the Red Sea, the South China Sea, And then, of course, the terrorism being committed by Hamas against Israel. What level of concern do you personally have about full-fledged war? And
I
where is Biden going wrong with all of this?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're there already. We're just not actively involved with boots on the ground. I mean, the whole world saw his botched withdrawal from Afghanistan, the fact that we left $80 billion worth of military equipment there, which is probably in the hands of the Russians and the Iranians and all sorts of people that hate us right now. You have them criticizing Israel going after Hamas because they're quote unquote concerned about civilian deaths, but they weren't concerned about the civilian deaths of the Israelis. And then you have Joe Biden's open borders policies, where it has let in hundreds of known terrorists, like 30-something thousand Chinese Communist Party individuals, 40-something thousand Russians, Iranians, Iraqis, 30-something thousand people from Turkey. I mean, these are people that don't like Americans, and they're all coming through the southern border because they know it's wide open right now. And even Director Wray, in testimony this week up on Capitol Hill, testified that he believes that a terrorist attack is very likely because of all of the terrorists that are coming in through the southern border. So I would not be surprised if during Joe Biden's administration, because of his open border policies, we see attacks right here on American soil.
Now, think about that. This is someone, okay, to the viewers at home, that knows what he's talking about, a credible individual of integrity who is telling you that this is a serious risk and it's a serious threat to this country, okay? This is where Biden is going wrong. The world is less safe under President Biden, the Biden-Harris administration, whatever you want to call it. This is a serious concern, and it's happening in multiple geopolitical arenas, and it's disconcerting to say the least. You know, and as it relates to the 2024 race, is it time, you know, at this point, we showed some clips and everything of this farce of a, you know, primary debate. Is it time for this party to unify around Donald Trump? And are we actually, you know, hurting ourselves, Congressman, by not devoting all of our time and energy to defeating Joe Biden?
Yeah, it's long past time for all the Republicans to get behind Donald Trump. He's crushing it in all of the polling. He's crushing it even in Florida, the state I represent, the state that DeSantis is governor of. It's long past time. We need to focus our resources on taking back the White House in 24, and the only person that can do that effectively is Donald Trump.
I really believe that. I mean, personally, I believe it. You know, I've been very close to him for 18 years. I saw up close and personal what he was able to accomplish during 4 years. I love the idea of him in 4 more years additional to get all of this done without even having to worry about re-election or anything like that. I just hope that we stop being foolish, because the general election is a serious, serious thing. And if it wasn't Donald Trump up 40 plus points in the primary, none of this would be happening. They'd be like, okay, this is over, folks. But because it's Donald Trump, they're still playing this game out. And Nikki Haley got her you-know-what handed to her by Vivek Ramaswamy, because she wants to spill U.S. blood and treasure in Ukraine, and she doesn't even know the provinces. So that's another whole situation right there. But today, we mark 82 years since the Pearl Harbor attack. As a veteran yourself, and God bless you and thank you for your service, please reflect on this day and what we can all learn as Americans from the greatest generation to build a better country in the decades to come.
Well, look how America responded after that day, and men and women all across the country standing up to fight for our freedoms and to fight for America after we've been attacked. I actually had the opportunity to serve in Hawaii when I was active duty. I deployed to Iraq from there, and had the opportunity to go down to Pearl Harbor and visit that. And it's very sombering to go there. And I want to thank all of those that we have left. The greatest generation is all, we're leaving them, we're losing them every single day. But anybody that was willing to raise their hand and serve our country, we owe a debt of gratitude to that. And I think we are looking at a very similar thing here, like what I've talked about. We didn't realize what was happening and what was about to happen on December 7th. And we're very close to that here in America, of another terrorist attack because of Joe Biden's open border policies and the threats that we face in the world today. And it's time for us to focus on the safety, security, and the American people. And that should be the priority of the White House. And unfortunately, it's not. And that's why we need Donald Trump back in the White House in November of next year to change all of this on day one.
No, you're absolutely right. You know, you've done such an incredible job. I just wish we had more people like yourself, men and women that want to come and serve, the country and work in government. I'm very worried about the majority. I think you all have worked incredibly hard to get some important things done. Great jobs on these different committees. But I think, as I've asked Congressman Mills and other people, definitely would help you guys getting Donald Trump back in the White House to really, move forward and put this country, in the right trajectory, because it's gone so wrong under these people and their feckless administration. It's just absolutely terrible what he did, whether it was like joining back in with WHO, joining back in with the Paris Climate Change Accord, opening the border, stopping building the wall. He's just really done such a disservice to this country, and I cannot wait less than 1 year to really get things going again. So Congressman Greg Steube, God bless you, and thank you for your service to this country as you continue to serve in Congress so admirably. I really appreciate your time.
You too. Thanks for having me.
All right, take care. And we will continue following all of this, so don't go anywhere.